Today, we're going Interstellar, and that's easier said than done, because my brain can't handle more than 4 parts on the screen at once. Because of that, this video is split into 3 sections: assembly, refueling, and finally hauling arse out to distant stars. Off camera, I constructed a refueling ship that I then docked to the space station named Going Nowhere, which is ironically about to go somewhere. The ocean, because it's more than 4 parts. Then after realizing my space agency was bankrupt, I built a ship to extract ore from one planet and deliver it to its moon. I don't know why I'd be paid 900k to do this, but it got me the funds I needed to build 2 more ships for my fleet, one of which can deliver cargo and rovers to planet surfaces, the other can go long distances, about 2 meters on a good day, because yet again, it's more than 4 parts. This is launch number 1, and you might be thinking, that rocket looks quite questionable. Well, trust me, it gets a lot worse, and you thought it probably couldn't. Well, just wait until you see launch number 2. Anyway, this is taking a nice space plane up to the space station. It's going to contain everything it needs to drop rovers, stuff like that, onto the surface of planets in the Kerbal system. So it's got the largest cargo bay out of the fleet. There are 3 ships in total, and I'll be showing all of them, and they all need to dock with the station, completely unfueled, before we can begin our journey. It's just yet again, a common theme is that the fairing is much larger than the rest of the rocket. Are you guys ready for a nice stage separation? Yeah, that went better than I thought it would. I know I should use clamshell for some reason, it just doesn't work. Don't know why, whether it's a bug with Restock or one of the part mods that I'm using. Clamshell deploy just doesn't work for me. But there's the ship, and it would look a lot more cool if it was actually the right way round. That reveal would have been so much better if it was this way round. So this is the ship. All of these ships follow a very similar theme. They're all very sci-fi looking. So I'm really happy with it. It's a Vtol as well. All of them are a Vtol. But there are 3 different types. This one is the second type, actually. It's the second one I built. It's a hangar. So down here is its hangar bay. It's got nothing in it, but it's got 2 docking ports, a medium and a small one. We'll just ignore the connection. We'll just ignore the connection mechanism for the moment, you know, just focus on the nice stuff, you know. And, oh, okay. That was a violent jettison. I mean, that looks pretty cool though, right? I like the look of that. That's good, apart from this fucking thing. I don't know what the hell this is. What is this? The reason why this exists is so that the center of mass, which is slightly further down here, the center of mass is in the right place as the center of thrust, so if I turn SAS off, it won't start steering out of control. And there we go. There's the station just in front of Ash. Now, quite a speedy relative velocity, but here we go. And then we get to begin the very strenuous task of docking with the damn thing. And we're getting closer. Hello. So I don't have a massive amount of monopropellant, so I'm going to try and keep this very, very brief. Now, if we look at the station, we already have the refueler completely docked with a very, very interesting looking. I'm not sure how that one's going to turn out later on, but we'll see. We'll see that the refueler's docked here. Now we have to dock the 2 other crafts on these 2 docking ports here. So this one is going to dock with this one here because it's in the light. You can all see it. Our target is that. That's the one that we need to dock with. This is the docking port we'll be using. And I need to flip around 180 degrees now because each of these dock backwards and upside down. Oh boy, that's going to be an absolute joy for me to do. Now a little bit of advice from me is to actually use the locked camera mode when attempting to do something like this. It's so much easier because then you can line yourself up really, really well with the station. Now at first it will be very difficult, it'll be really confusing as well, which is confusing me, so take my advice with a pinch of salt. You're all probably very disgusted by how I'm doing this right now, but this is what works in my head, so this is what we're going to use. Now I'm going to control it from this docking port, which you might be wondering, why are you doing that? And the real question is, it's very easy to actually line yourself up. All you got to do is get this dot inside this dot. Simple. And I'm hoping, if I've done my math correctly, that this works. So I've got to align myself again properly. That's looking nice, that's looking fine, that's looking good. I'm not gonna lie, that's looking pretty bloody good. Now let's slow this on down before I hit one of those solar panels, which I may need to actually end up retracting, unfortunately. Now I feel like I am actually going to hit that solar panel. It's going to be very close. I don't want to be like misaligned at all. That's looking pretty damn good. And I wasn't as satisfying as I thought it was. Alright, we're clearly not quite aligned yet, are we? It's that bloody solar panel, I'm telling you. It's that solar panel. What did I say? I was like, I bet I'm gonna hit that solar panel, aren't I? Yeah. Retract. So that's just gonna like bump me out the way as well. Oh, there we go. It docked. All on its own. Well, that stage is docked and there's only one more to go. Remember when I said that the first rocket could be worse? Well, allow myself to introduce myself. It's fine. It's all fine. We're all good. It's not quite going the right way, I'm gonna be honest. It's not quite going the right way, but it's okay. We got this. 2 out of 3 launches complete. I like those odds. And this time, the fairing's gonna be the right way around, right? Yeah, there we go. The biggest addition to the fleet. This is the Explorer. This has 7,000 to 9,000 meters per second of delta V. And it looks pretty damn cool at the same time as well. It's got a small hangar, but this is just for science. Just some science experiments inside there. It's got some crew. This is pretty much the flagship. This is the one that will be going from the station down to do the exploration. It can't take a rover, but it can do the initial landing to scout out a landing site. It's also a Vtol. Not quite as powerful as the other ones though, but this one can land on planets up to 0.7 Gs. I think it's only up to 0.4 in the Vtol engines though. But anyway, I'll see you all at the station. Now, I've just come across a problem. I've arrived at the station, sure, but the probe was here, and you might be wondering, where was the probe? Well, it's inside. So I don't have any actual control over this at the moment. I don't have SAS, anything like that, so I think I'm going to have to transfer one of these. What the hell? What is that? It's like a demonic square. The heck is that? And it doesn't move with the craft, it moves with the camera. What's that meant to be? Anyway, what I was going to do is I was going to transfer crew from here into one of these crew cabins. There we go. And now all they're going to do is get a pilot off of here. Valentina. Actually, no, you've got like no experience. Jebediah. Get out and learn how to... Oh, hello. I'm in a bit of a precarious situation. All's good, all's good. My frame rate is pretty bad, but we got this. And Jeb makes his way towards the Explorer. Because Jeb actually knows how to fly his ship. None of the other crew on board actually do. I don't have a pilot. I was using probe control, but now it's Jeb's turn. Turning intensifies. This actually turns rather quickly for the station, but look how cramped everything is. These aren't going to be docked all the time. They're going to be making their way out and about inside the system, but in order to get there, they must first dock. And this station is well over 1,000 parts now. I don't blame my computer for not being able to like handle the frame rate. If anything, I'm surprised it's performing this well. And there we go, the last exposed docking port. All right, so I need to remember that I need to dock backwards, so let's open this one up and let's do the docking maneuver. Oh boy, is this actually going to fit? I don't know. This is really, This is really, Right, so that's my target. I'm going to control from here, and I'm going to do this a little differently. I'm just going to face the target now that Jeb has enough experience to do that, and I'll just kill my velocity with it. And then I'll get the station to also face me, and it should be fine and dandy. It should be fairly easy to do after sorting this out. All I need to do now is just hope for the best. I mean, that's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty solid. Yeah, it's going to be a tight fit, and I think I'm going to actually have to go forwards to avoid that, aren't I? Can I do a sneaky? I'm gonna quick save just in case this doesn't work, but can I do a sneaky? Can I just pass through it like this? And no... That wasn't so good. That wasn't the best thing to do. The execution could have been so much better. There we go. Oh, actually, I might end up hitting that solar panel. Looking pretty damn aligned. I'm just gonna go backwards a little bit though. I mean, it's looking good-ish. Kind of. And we're docked. Very nice. All three... Oh, that's looking close though. All three of these have been successfully docked to the station. I have 4,332 meters per second of fuel. Now that is actually enough to get to the Kerbal system, so not much refueling is required. But we're going to take the refueler for a spin, I reckon. I think just to show off what it can do, we're going to go down to Armstrong and we're just going to have a little bit of a look, see what it can do. And we're away. But yes, this is the refueler. It's actually one of the smaller ships. It has a processing unit on the bottom. It's got a hangar bay with some drills inside, which are unnecessarily clipped into the rest of the craft, but we'll ignore that for the moment. Alright, so the nuclear stage has 2,299 meters per second at its minimum fuel that it requires to actually go places. It's going to refuel, it'll have an awful lot more, and then it'll transfer the rest of that into the station. So we're going to do that. We're going to go to Armstrong, and we're going to do a little bit of mining. And it's time to do the maneuver that will take us to Armstrong. I really like the look of these crafts that I've made. Now, not to toot my own horn, because normally my crafts don't look great, but I went for the sci-fi sort of very futuristic look, especially Vtol as well, which has has robotics, which can, if we look, that wasn't what I wanted to press. If I press 4 and 5, these bad boys rotate so that I can actually control my thrust on the way down. Unfortunately, it also rotates the craft a little bit. And we have arrived at Armstrong. Now, because I'm on Kerbal Space Program 1.9 and Copernicus hasn't properly updated, you are going to see these squares, and they do look quite strange, but for the next episode, I'll get them fixed, you know? I'll go back to 1.8, but for the moment, you're going to have to deal with some squares, unfortunately. But we have arrived at Armstrong, and we're ready to do the landing. A Vtol landing, might I add. I'm going to face the direction that I'm traveling in, because that just makes it a lot easier for me. Deploy the landing gear. That would help, right? Let's slow down very much. There we go. Alright, this is going well until it starts clipping into the craft. Let's not do that. Let's set some... I need to set some stricter limits on that then. But yeah, there we go. As you can see, it's working. A powered landing. How very nice. And we're about to hit the surface. The black squares, they're getting worse. Here we go. This is the first test of this. And we didn't actually need anywhere near as much fuel as we did. I like to overestimate. Anyway, it's time to deploy the drills, which are unnecessarily clipped into the cargo bay. And we're going to be processing LFO, so liquid fuel and oxidizer at the same time, and I'll see you guys in a while. And after acquiring all the ore we needed, we can finally retract the drills. I also ran out of electric charge halfway through. Alright, let's do that. Let's take off, let's also go backwards. And when we've finished rotating around in midair, I think we're all good to go. There we go, we can just activate those and we can get into orbit around Armstrong. And I'll see you all back at the station. Alright, we're back at the station, it's time to start docking. This ship has the worst RCS, thrust to weight ratio, so this is going to take quite some time. Alright, all I gotta do is finish lining stuff up and we should be pretty much ready to go. All I gotta do is transfer a little bit of fuel across. Actually, I don't think I do, I think I'm good, as long as it's just on the station. I think I gotta go a little bit backwards. I do. Let's sort that out. Let's sort that out before we dock, preferably. Oh, this is just not wanting to slow down. Well, I guess we've docked. I was gonna line it up a little bit better than that, but there we go. All of the ships are docked to the station. It's time to shut this up. I didn't actually have to take anything through here because everything ended up being larger than it anyway. So I'm just gonna close them all and it's time to go into Stellar. First of all, we have to leave Ash's sphere of influence, so we need to go prograde, and this is gonna take a very long time to rotate the station. Alright, it's time to start leaving Ash's sphere of influence. We're going on a journey. Let's go. And off we go, very, very slowly with a thrust to weight ratio of 0.4. Slowly but surely we're making our way. But it's not about speed, it's about endurance. I know a series called that. The station is now making its way outside of Ash's orbit. We're getting very, very close to the edge of its SOI, and then our journey will have officially begun. It's slow progress though, running at half speed, and also accelerating very slowly, and we have escaped Ash's sphere of influence and we are now heading towards Kerbal, due to arrive in a couple hundred years. We'll see you there. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Kerbal Space Program Beyond Home. If you did enjoy that, be sure to check out the Kerbal Space Program book playlist, or you can start from episode 1 if you really feel like that sort of dedication. But anyway, thank you all for watching this episode, and I'll see you all in the next episode.